subscribe. The only thing, it's only in Dutch, but there are some nice articles in there. So I'm also a judge. I passed my WBO exam in May 2015, and I judged in quite a few countries already. I like to do that. I like to meet new people. So for me, judging is really something that I really like to do, and I hope I will do much more in the future. I have my bodyguard, he is sitting in front here, is traveling a lot with me, and we meet new people, and we speak a lot about the birds. So yeah, that was my when I passed my exam. So as I said, it's not only about budgies. It's also about old and new friendships. So some of the people you already know for many years, but also when you go away for judging or you're doing presentations or something, you always meet new people, and that's what's very important for me too. So something I like to do is to promote the hobby. You know, it's not easy. Also here in England, I think the number of breeders decrease every year. It's also the same in Belgium and Holland. You know, bird keeping is not as popular anymore with young people, I think. The problem is that most of young people like to go on vacation 2-3 times a year. And when you have 200 or 300 budgies sitting there, it's not so easy. You have to rely on other people then. And I like to promote the hobby. We can see still in some Middle Eastern countries that there are quite a few more young people starting there. So it's a different culture than in Europe and in the UK. So what's important that we always learn from others. Every time I go somewhere, there is always something I said, oh, that's clever. I should think about that next time. So that's also really important. So here you see the third partner. You see Mario Wars, I guess. He is in the partnership since 2013. So that's what I said. This was a picture with me and my friend Bob Wilson from the States, where we were sitting in Egypt on the street, speaking about budgies. For me, that was a fantastic experience. It was not organized. So we had the show, we judged the show, and everything was. And in the evening, suddenly we went for a coffee, and they put some chairs outside, and we started to speak about the budgies. It was amazing. It was really, it was really a different experience. And those guys really want to learn something, and they want to know what's happening in Europe and how they can improve their birds. So that's, for me it's always nice. You know, all friendships, like see, we were in Pakistan for judging, in Egypt for judging. So you see, it's not only about birds, it's about friendship and see people and see new countries. So we see our friend, I'm happy to see him here today. Faisal, that was when I did the seminar in Kuwait. And this, is the heavy gang, we call it in Belgium. So my friend Mathieu and his brother and Michael Marone. So and everybody knows that guy. He can drink us under the table. But everybody knows, we built up a really nice friendship together with Harry for the last 10 years nearly. I think, no, it's not 10, but 8. Approximately 8. And you can see my father on the right, so you don't find many pictures with him on it because you don't like to be in the picture, but you can see him here. These are the Austrian gang. And here you can see that's many years ago. You can see Daniel and myself, and I think that was in 2003 or 2004. So yeah, we all changed. The birds have changed too. So I changed in the same proportion as the birds, I think. So let's start with the basics. Some basic concepts about breeding budgies and our daily routine. It means I'm going to speak about the housing, how our breeding cages are, what do we do in the nest boxes and so on, about the light, about the feeding, and some short words about medication and disinfection. So after this, we'll have a break, and then afterwards we'll speak in depth about the birds. So we have 3 bird rooms in the partnership: my father's bird room, Mario's bird room, and my bird room. So we have in total, I think 129 breeding cages. That's quite a lot, but the thing is that we only breed with 1 or maximum 2 breeding rooms at the same time. So it means that we always leave 1 breeding room empty. Why do we do that? This gives us the opportunity to get the pressure out of the breeding room. Because when you're breeding always and you had a lot of birds in the breeding room, you get a lot of pressure on the birds, but also on the room. And you get easier French mold, you get easier red mites, everything like that. So what do? We make a rotation system. So last year, my father wasn't breeding, Mario and myself, we were breeding. So this breeding season we will start in a few weeks. Mario will not be breeding, and my father and I will be breeding. This will not mean that Mario is not doing anything. He will come on a daily basis to one of the 2 other chats to help. So we are a partnership, we are a real partnership. It means the birds are 1 stud of birds, and they just travel between the breeding rooms. We are not 3 people breeding separately and showing together. Actually, we just do it all together, pairing up, cleaning, also feeding the birds. Most of the time we do it together. So to continue about what do we do with the breeding room that's empty, then we can start cleaning them out completely without having to care about the birds. So you can use some stronger products to disinfect, like we call it SIT20. It's a very strong disinfectant that's used in the cattle industry, but you cannot use that while there are birds in the breeding room. So this gives us the opportunity every 3 years to really clean the breeding room out completely and disinfect it completely too. And then after that, the year after we bring in new birds. So this is a picture of, I show you a few pictures of my breeding room. You can see, I will show you the breeding cages. It's an own idea, an own concept, and I'll show you how I came to that. Because before, 5 years ago, we still had the Erstringer boxes, but I wasn't so happy about them. I still use the nest boxes, I think. Don't get me wrong, the material is super. You cannot find better. But the only thing is that into those breeding cages you have a lot of gaps. You have a lot of small space where some dust can hide, but also the red mites can hide. And you don't have that without breeding cages. But I'll come back on that later. So, as I said, the breeding cages are a known idea in design. They are semi-transparent. We have a stainless steel cage front, so no more gaps, less hiding space for red mice, easy to clean, and you can take one out separately. So whenever you might have French mold, and you really want to tackle it shortly, you can take the box out and put it in a separate room. Also, you take the birds out, you put them somewhere else, and you don't get the pressure on the breeding room. Let's have a look if it works. Yes, it works. So this is actually the breeding box. There is an aluminium bar in front that I fix it with 2 clips on the side. We just have the stainless cage front. You have to take it to the right side, but it just hooks in there. With the 2 perches there. And you just put it, you see we have shelves, and also on top of each shelf we have an LED strip. I will come back on the light later on, but you can see the light because of the boxes. They are semi-transparent. The light shines through, but you know LED light is quite strong for the birds. I don't like it to shine directly in the breeding cage. Now, because of the boxes, they are a little bit milky white. You get like a shine in the box, and it works out very well for us. So actually, it's just, there are storage boxes I order in Germany. I order a different color because normally they are in a darker gray, and they are used in logistics. And yeah, I work in logistics, so I get to know that company, and I asked them, isn't it possible to put it in another color? And most of boxes you can see they are wider at the top and then smaller at the bottom, but these are straight, and this makes things quite easy. So they are in centimeters. They are 64 by 40 by 40 centimeters, and the nest boxes, you can see it here. We use the Östringer nest boxes. They are 25 by 20 by 25 with a wooden concave in it. Inside, I use a food grade sawdust. That is a sawdust that they use for smoking meat or smoking fish. And it's from oak or beech. And you know, it's a bit dusty, you know, when you use it like that, but I moisten it a little bit with some F10 or with some fungicide or an antiviral product. So that's what I use in the nest boxes. So everybody knows those nest boxes. I know some people use the plastic drawers to put in, but I don't like the plastic ones. I know they're easy to clean, but I still like the hens to chew the wooden concave that's inside, and it's still a little bit more natural, you know. I think Harry uses the complete wooden ones. That's also possible, of course. I've tried both, but I still want it to be wood. You can see after the chicks come into the feathers, we put a small carton inside. And there we put a lot of wooden, I don't know, how do you say it, wooden, chips, or how do they say it? Yeah. So inside a big, and with that carton, you can see that it breathes. you can see when you leave a plastic one inside or you leave the big wooden one inside, you can get some fungus coming and it gets wet. With carton, the moisture goes into the carton, and always all the nests that they keep, they will keep dry. So that's something that we use always. Okay, we have another. That's just how we fix. You can see it's a really simple system, and we have developed that in 2-3 times. I always had to adjust a few things, but it works out. It works out perfectly. So our flights, we had movable flights before from Stringer, but they were too storage high. And the problem was that on the bottom level, you cannot see the birds very well. Also, it was difficult to clean, and it was difficult to check the birds. Many times we found a bird that was sick, and it was already too late. You know, with the budgie, when the budgie is sick, you have to be quick. When you're 1 day or 2 days late, it's over. So, and that's why now my father said, I don't want to be on my knees anymore either to feed the birds. So we sold the movable flights, and we built storage cabinets, and on top of that, we have mounted our flights. So now we have a lot of storage space. Of course, we have a few flights less, but they are easy to feed, easy to clean. You have the birds at eyesight, and when something is wrong, you can see it much easier. You can see it like that. So they are now, it's one flight, it's fixed. You cannot move it anymore in the breeding room. But you can see the storage space underneath, and this works out very well for us. Inside the flights, we still have a space that we keep clean every day, where there are no wooden chips or anything. So it's a plate actually that we keep clean every day, and on that plate we feed. One day we feed in dishes, and then after that day we just take out the dishes, and the birds have to look for the food they like. And you can see them whenever you do that, they go and budgies are used to do that in the wild. I know our birds don't have nothing to do anymore with the birds of the wild, but you can see that's still inside. When you put all the different seeds together on the floor, they go and search for what they like. So that's how we do it. So as I said, we have light 15 or 16 hours a day, and we still we do a siesta in between 2 and 4 p.m. Why do we do that? We have done that always. I've seen that at Daniel's place, and it worked out very well. We can see when the bird had a rest. Afterwards, they start feeding the chicks. They start feeding the chicks immediately. And when I came back 1 hour later after the siesta, I noticed that the chicks all were very, very well fed. So I don't know if that wouldn't be, or if that would also be the case when they didn't have a siesta. I never tried, but for me it worked out well like that. So I still do that. So we, as I said, we have the LED light above the boxes, and this gives us the opportunity to have the same amount of light in every nest box. I know when you have all the lights at the ceiling, on the bottom, most of breeding cages don't have much light anymore. And I know all we put in the Enos or there, but I like the birds to have the same amount of light in every box. So, and then we use on the ceiling, we use the true light lamps. So they give a full spectrum. UVA and UVB in my basement, because I'm reading in the basement, and the basement has a few advantages. The advantages are that even in winter or in summer,